10. Adding a little distortion at the end there. Yeah.
Gotta have fun with it. All right.
Absolutely. We're going to have fun today. Hi, everyone. We Play Well Together. I'm Joule of We Play Well Together, and I'm here with my buddy Kalani Das of World Drum Club on YouTube. And this is our third live stream in our live stream series for this year. And we are focusing on wellness percussion, which is percussion that we use for self-regulation, for self-soothing, for fun, and all the things that can offer us well-being, personal well-being. And we have instruments. We've got some folks saying hello, Harmonio Alto. Hi, Kalani and Joule, welcome. Thanks for being here live. And oh, random notes. Roseanne, welcome back. So good to see you. Kalani, thanks so much for joining again today, and thank you for that live jam. We are live right now, and Kalani just created all of that in real time with his live looper and many instruments, including the Space Drum Nitro made by Metal Sounds, which we distribute. And Kalani, what is going on with that handpan? Do you have some bling on your handpan? An accessory?
I guess you could call it that. Yeah, actually. So we'll get into this. I guess because today's theme is sort of like experimentation and having fun. So
Yeah.
I think I have a better shot of this too. Let me go to the side shot. So I have these prayer beads that were given to me actually strangely enough, by a therapist that I was seeing at the time, and he gave me these sort of prayer beads. I mean, they're beads, And so yeah, I just got a couple magnets there. I'll show you in more detail, but see, those are 2 magnets, and I wrap tape around them so they don't damage any. So there's no metal on metal, but I got these 2 magnets, and then I just hung the beads off the end of the drum around, and I went around the note because if you hang them across the note, they will mute it. So yeah, that's all. Just did that, and then so when you play it, nice sound, nice little buzz. For some of you, it will be a different way of getting a buzz, but I'm not judging. Yeah, so that's one thing that you can do with, especially with metal sounds, is to put something on the instrument that will create a buzz. And we know, like in kalimba, in the mbira, the Zimbabwe instrument, the mbira and other instruments, there's a lot of traditions of adding bottle caps or shells or something onto an instrument to get a buzzing sound. And you hear that in Guatemalan marimba, some of the sansulas, I think, and you can put stuff on them, anything like that, kalimbas, different instruments, tongue drums, tank drums, hand pans. So yeah, that's what I was doing on that part.
Awesome. So yeah, we decided today's theme would be out of the box playing and taking the instruments and doing different kinds of things with them. All these instruments are designed to be played in a certain way, but with intuitive instruments, especially ones that are kind of hybrid instruments that are from kind of different cultures put together, there aren't really any rules with intuitive instruments. And I'm always really surprised. We have a monochord group that's been meeting since the pandemic. I'm always surprised when our monochord people come and play the monochord in a completely different way than I've ever played it before, even though I've been playing it for many years and I've been teaching people how to play it. Someone comes and they have some new idea, some creative spark, and they're playing it in a new, different way. So today we thought we would just inspire you all, and maybe you can look around at your instruments, pick it up, and think, how have I not played this? And what could I try to do that's out of the box? Yeah. So I'm curious, Kalani, how do you come up with that idea? You had stuff lying around, or you thought, like, sometimes I think, the way my mind works is like chocolate and peanut butter. Oh, these could go well together. And then you just find the magnets, or yeah. So what was your thought process with putting that together?
So yeah, actually, this came from I guess you would say that I adapted this from a common practice more in the jazz idiom with drum sets, and you people out there may have seen somebody do this. But as a drum set player, we'd take a little, I don't know if there's a name for these little chains, but those little tiny silver ball bearing chains that are very typical, right? I guess if you maybe see somebody with a dog tag kind of thing hanging, right? So just a typical silver ball chain, for lack of, like a keychain chain, but bigger, right? And we take that and then we just hang it on the center, the wing nut of a cymbal, of usually a ride cymbal. You can do it on a crash cymbal. And it gives you a sizzle. We call that the sizzle. And there's a couple ways of getting a sizzle. You could put a rivet in a cymbal. That's pretty common. You put one rivet or more, but usually just one's okay. and it gives you that buzzing sound. And then the quick way to do it is to turn, and it's not permanent, of course, which is a nice advantage, is that you would just put a little chain on the cymbal. And so that's what I was going for here. I looked around, I was scouring the house, looking all around, and I don't have one of those chains, but I did have these little beads, which are not metal, but they're, some sort of hard material, and these worked out okay. So yeah, it's just that, and then you could do it by hand too. You could just rest it with one hand, and move it around, and right. And I did need to do some experimenting, so that's why I went out and got the magnets. And let me see if I can show you a little bit more closely. So here's one of the magnets. These are just from a hardware store, and I did wrap some duct tape around them so they would not be metal on metal. And
yeah, that's right.
They're very strong magnets. So.
We want to avoid metal on metal because that can detune the handpan. But that's really smart that you wrap those up, and then also that the chain isn't metal.
Right, and the chain's not metal either, so I could, put it anywhere. I realize that you probably, if you guys noticed, let me move this a little so you can see better. Wherever you put the chain, we have a lot more to do today, but just while we're on this one, you can kind of shape where the chain goes with the magnets, and then it seems to really activate the sound on the 3 closest, right? So obviously, and then the effect sort of goes away. Not entirely, but as you move away. So I guess I might want to invest in some more chains if I wanted an even buzzing effect. But I kind of like it on the higher sounds and not so much on the lower sounds. But you could do either way: high buzz, low buzz. Whatever you want to do.
So Rosanna is saying it's typically called a bead chain. Thanks, Roseanne.
Roseanne has all the answers, and I'm so lucky to have her hosting Tuesday Muse Days with me. Yeah, thank you, Roseanne. Bead chain. All right, there you go.
Bead chain. Indeed.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
It's time for puns. We said we're going to have fun. So we're allowed to be a little punny, a little cringy punny.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, so Kalani, I'm going to play a video, and like we do in these live streams, we sometimes comment over the videos. And this is a short video about our chimes. And many of you are probably familiar with these. These are called Koshi chimes. And there are a couple of different original brands made in France. So the Koshi and then the Zaphir chimes. Zaphirs are in different colors, and they're similar. It was, from my understanding, actually originally it was a couple, and then they went their separate ways. And the one side of the couple did the Koshis, and the other the Zaphirs. So they're hopefully they're friends. I don't know the personally, but the popularity of these chimes has caused a lot of other brands now to start to copy them. But these, as far as I know, are the original from France, and we distribute them here. We play well together here in the United States. And so we've also just launched a new color series with these. They come in a lot of different colors, but we've curated rather colors for our collection. And the new colors are big and bright and bold, and they also correspond to the Koshi tuning. So the Koshi chimes, they usually have a little color in the thing. It says Koshi, so you can tell which color it is. This is red. I think you have the blue one, Kalani. And so we've in this new set, we've matched the color of the O in the Koshi to the color of the chime, which also then matches with custom tuned Kalimbas and Sansulas and the little mini Zenko elementals, and soon tinkatongs as well. We're going to have matching tinkatongs, which are the wooden tongue drums from feeltone. So these are these wonderful instrument sets, which are wonderful for non-musicians to be able to jam with one another, because you pick these instruments up and there's no wrong notes. And if you have a group of 2, 3, 4, 5 people, you can jam together. And also I find that it is really fun for trained musicians to play these kinds of instruments, because what it does is it frees up your creativity to focus on the rhythm and the timbre, the color of the sound, and listening to one another and having musical conversations. When part of your brain isn't having to think about which note do I play, and do I play a chord, or do I, do I switch, do I, play major, minor? When none of those things are occupied by thought, then you have a little bit more creativity freed up to do other things. One of the sort of ideas I live by is the paradox that parameters create freedom. And I really think this is true in all aspects of life. When we're overwhelmed by choice, we tend to default to the safe and known. And when we limit the choice, which theoretically would give us less freedom, we sometimes have more creativity because it's a narrower focus and we can suddenly go in a direction instead of where do I go. Getting a little philosophical here, but that's kind of like the idea behind these instrument groupings. So I'm going to play our little chime video, and Kalani and I will kind of comment over it. So here we go. So this is the Koshi chime, and this is the C major group. I'm going to move our logo over here. And the C major is the green in this system. And when you hear them, you can tell they're tuned similarly in that most of them have the same notes, but they're in a slightly different order. So then when you put them together, it creates kind of a stereo effect where they're almost the same but not quite, and gives just a little...
They are still friends.
They're very much friends. A little bit more complexity, which is fun.
Yeah.
So then the second one is the A minor, and this is the yellow or the air element. So we've got our more melancholy sound happening here.
That's very nice, very beautiful.
Yeah, the minor sounds are a little more introspective. Harmonio Alto has some chimes, I think she wrote. I love playing the chimes together. Yeah. So this is the red group, which is the fire element, and G major.
Yeah. Wow, that is... I haven't seen these new colors with the Zaphir chimes. That is awesome.
Brand new. Yeah.
They're going to love that one in China. That's awesome.
It's a celebratory color, isn't it? Yeah. And then here is the blue, the water. Now this one, you and I have talked about it. This blue Zaphir chime is a little bit more off, shall we say. It's kind of like a little bit more microtonal. But that's kind of fun because if you can hear this one, right, it's a little bit different. But if you're wanting to do some more complex soundscape creation that isn't quite so harmonious but a little bit more dissonant, then this blue chime is kind of fun. And with them both together, it's like, whoa, what's going on there?
Yeah, it just adds richness, really. I mean, getting back to the kind of tuning, we mentioned the Mbira, which is the Zimbabwe, the grandfather of the kalimba. Those tunings, I won't talk too much now, but those tunings are very wide.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is me just having fun playing them all together. So that's our old color grouping, which were more kind of pastel, and this is the new one. They're a bit more saturated, more bright. And you shouldn't probably play them all together, but it's fun if you want to make a joyful noise. So I just put that in there. Woohoo!
Oh my goodness! Wow. I like it though. It's just everything. It's like the whole spectrum.
So this one is a weird one. It doesn't correspond to the others. It's called the Sunray. It's in C sharp. But this is something that you can do. Turn it upside down and drum on the side of it. one way
And
of
that
playing
doesn't
out of
work
the
with the
box.
other ones, or?
It works with
Yeah.
all of them. I'm just demonstrating with this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the other thing that you can do is turn it sideways and pluck the tines with your fingers. You can see that glass bead inside. And then you can do that while you are playing it, plucking those tines.
So you get more percussive, more control over when the notes happen.
Exactly. Well, and you're also activating the tine so that you're hearing kind of a bass note.
Yeah.
And
accents.
I'm going to switch the videos because I did not come up with these ideas. These ideas were from my buddy Brandon, who is someone who plays all instruments out of the box. He comes up with all these innovative ways of playing the instruments. And he just made this video today too. We're going to post it on our website. And Brandon is teaching our summer course, which is called Wellness Percussion Self-Care Summer School with Brandon Blake. And we have a special promo that's happening right now, which is if you sign up for the class at weplaywelltogether.com. We're also going to put a link in the chat in a moment. If you sign up for this class by the end of tomorrow, so midnight Pacific time, May 1st, you actually get one of these chimes for free. You get to choose any of the 5 colored ones, the Zaphir chimes. So I'm going to bring it back to us. Oh, Brandon, thank you. It's a little promo for our class, but that's my buddy Brandon, and he showed me how to play those chimes in that different way, and that I made that video. But here's the thing, I wouldn't have ever played the chimes that way because it just wouldn't have occurred to me to like stick my hand in the cylinder and pluck the tines. But Brandon is a bass player, and so he likes to create bass notes with things. And now I can't get enough of it. I'm just playing the tines all the time, and it's so much fun. Same with like drumming on the side of it. I wouldn't have done that. I'm not a percussionist. Maybe you, Kalani, might have thought of tapping a rhythm on the side of it, but yeah, it's just not something I would have done. So I love it when creativity sparks creativity in other people. I think that's a wonderful thing, and it's something that I value and I need in my life. Like, I'm just not going to come up with all the possibilities on my own. Yeah.
It just demonstrates the value of, you know, a community of people with everybody has different ideas, and that's great. And a lot of them are either coming from your own area of expertise, like in Brandon's case being a bass player, or like you said, limiting the possibility, limiting what you have to work with. And when you said that, I immediately thought of like the little kid who has, like, let's say two kids, they're neighbors, and one has like the whole swing set and the water slides and all this stuff and toys, the little electric car, like the stuff everybody wants. And the other kid has a sandbox and, sticks and rocks and trees. But who's going to be more creative, right? Who's going to be, I remember spending hours in the backyard, and there's nothing out there except the backyard, which was like so many cool things. So you do have to be more creative when you have not as many formalized things to work with, and you can get stunned. We all get stunned with too many possibilities, I think, sometimes. But should we share more different ways to approach playing the instruments? I have a few.
Yeah, do you have a few? Awesome, I can't wait.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I did my homework for this session.
So you're going to surprise me with all kinds of out-of-the-box ideas. I can't wait.
I'll share a few. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of these are super... I've got a logo face again.
Logo face. The logo doesn't work in the right spot everywhere, so we were
joking earlier.
We were joking. It's like, if you don't behave, I'll give you logo face.
Logo face. I swear it's an anime character. It's got to be an anime character.
Maybe
all right, so in general, one of the categories of out of the box playing, and this is nothing new, but let me show you a few things in case it is new to you, and that is, as a general category, changing the implement or instrument the thing you play the instrument with, right? So in the case of handpan, of course, we can use hands. It's in the name, right? We can use mallets, which I love. I love playing them with mallets. But then we can get into other things, like how about the happy face little spatula guy? And then here's some bundled plastic sticks, right? And these are called Route 505s by Vic Firth. Lots of companies make things similar to this. Now, I want to pause for 1 second. And you say, I love that one. That was awesome. I want to pause for 1 second and just say that I am a professional percussionist, and I know pretty familiar with the scope of what it would be safe to use on the instrument without hurting the instrument or without hurting myself or without hurting anything.
Good disclaimer, because you can put a handpan out of tune. So if you have a handpan, you're not sure what to play on it, you can contact us and we can talk to Metal Sounds, or contact your handpan maker if you're not sure. So, yeah. Kalani, thanks for the warning.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there's a few other things that I dug up along those lines. One is just using, for example, like this mallet, which came with a beautiful kind of buffalo shaman drum that somebody made. And they made this mallet, and it's pretty poofy, right? It's pretty thick, pillowy. And so again, it's going to have a different quality than the other mallets. But I'm not going to go hard, with this one, because this one actually has some weight to it, and you can't just, I can't just beat on the instrument like I did with the plastic sticks. I can go kind of hard because the energy of those dissipates when you strike the instrument. This one not so much. Now these, I'm going to use this one. These are metal bundles, or metal rakes, we call them. This one, I'm not going to use this one because it's got sharp ends. Not super sharp, but I don't want to scratch the instrument at all. But this one has loops on the end, so I'm pretty confident that it's not going to do any damage. But as a sound effect, right, and I'm going to be very gentle with this one. And maybe light just a little. Right, and very percussive sound. The last one in this category is
a toothbrush.
This is not my personal one, but yeah. And I like that it's just small because it's very light. And I got a little bit of plastic on there. Right? Other little sounds. So I want to use some of the same things, but I want to switch over to the Monolini because why not? And I've got it right here.
Okay, so, we do have some apprehension in the chat. Hi, Gretchen. So glad you're here. She was saying, eek, those won't scratch. And I would say metal can be dangerous on a handpan, even if you have like a ring on your finger. But some people have rings and play it. So again, with your instruments, you can decide to what level you want to risk. But if you're not sure, then reach out to us or to your handpan maker for sure. Exactly, yeah. And no, that particular rake is, like I said, it's made of wound metal wires, and it's all rounded and pretty smooth. There's nothing sharp on that. And as long as you are gentle and you know what you're doing, you have a feel for it. Now I wouldn't do a lot of glancing blows, but if you're careful and you just kind of tap on it, it should be fine. All right, let me show you. So this will be a little non-traditional. We know the monochords and monolinis. We usually just strum,
with our fingers, but I found this one to be kind of intriguing. So let's listen to this as a percussive element.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of slappy.
Yeah.
Let me bump this up a little. And then, of course, oh, well, let's see. I have this, which is a little bamboo, just very small bamboo stick. Not unlike what might be used to play something like a sabar, although they use lemon tree branches for that, but just a little, just gentle. And then, where did I put it? Let me see. I think it's here. Rattle mallet. So this is a soft mallet. This is actually for timpani. I have another one that's like more of a marimba style, but sometimes maybe you can use something that has a little something something inside. Now there you're getting a lot of rattle, not so much monochord, but you know, you can have variations on that. So that's what I had on that. I'll put this back on my very fancy stand.
Wow, so we're asking, Gretchen is asking me too, where is that particular mallet from, the leather padded one? That, because that...
So, yeah, the leather pattern one, as I mentioned, was handmade by somebody where I ordered a like a shaman drum, like a buffalo drum, and they made it and sent it. But it's basically just wooden handle, and then this part is a, what do you call that? Like suede, or it's leather, you know. But it's the, I'm not a leather expert. I would say suede-ish leather, right?
I like how thick and how long it is, because I've never played something that thick across the monochord that goes across so many strings at the same time. Like that, I think you could play all 5 of your bass notes at once. And that was a super cool sound. I also loved how different the different things sounded. I mean, the monochords come with chopsticks that are sticks, and yet that stick that you played still sounded different. And really, any mallet or thing is going to sound different. So you have the possibilities that you're limited with your tools. So if you have lots of tools, then you can make a lot of different sounds. Yeah. Are you looking at?
Yes.
Figuring which camera to look at.
I got a logo.
Oh, you got logo faced again.
Out.
I'm sorry.
Here's another one. I think this came with a big Remo, some giant drum. This could be an option. It's kind of a square. It's just a giant piece of foam, I guess. With, you know, so we could listen to that on here. But let's just try it on the Monolini real quick. Maybe that's an option because I think these are more readily available. But yeah, even this, pretty different from the other one. Not as percussive.
Yeah, Gretchen, you could totally make one of those.
Yeah, you could make one if you have basic sewing skills.
I've made some really ridiculous mallets just to show some members of our monochord community that you can use what you have at home, which fits in with our theme. I think the ones that I made were with plastic forks and with tissues rubber banded around the edges, and then playing it like this. And it was super cheap, but it actually sounded pretty good. But that...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think with there's probably plenty of YouTubes about how to create your own mallets. Do it yourself.
Go to the hardware store. You know, if you have a local, like we have like an Ace Hardware that they have everything. You go in there and they have metal tubing and dowels of every size and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, and just try. Maybe get some supplies and check it out.
All right, throw down. We Play Well Together community. Make your own mallets. If you watch this, you can feel inspired, and send us your pics or your videos. I'll have to hold myself to that challenge actually. I guess one more thing. I guess when you make your own things, then you have your own unique sounds too. That's another thing. Like if it's yours. Yeah. So you're gonna bring some kalimba love?
So I noticed earlier, and this is a combination of things that we've done before, right? So the idea with this is we know that the kalimbas, the solid body kalimbas sound, they resonate with things when you press them to a surface, right? We already know that. But I just thought, okay, this is both D minor. These are both in the blue, the aqua category. And I've got the beads on here. So what I noticed earlier was, and I'm pressing not on a note, but on the, on the non-note part. And for those of you who haven't heard this, here's the regular, right? The regular sound, not pressing on. But if I press on it, okay, it's not vibrating as much as I thought, so hold on.
Oh, no, it actually sounds pretty good. So just to clarify, because we can't totally tell from the upward view, that you're actually taking that wood piece and you're touching it to the handpan so that it resonates, it amplifies it, right?
Right. I could probably show.
So now we're trying to get the buzz too.
I'm trying to get the buzz on there. There we go.
I'm hearing it.
A little bit, yeah. I don't know. It was buzzing a lot before, but maybe that's just
coming through.
The way it was. There we go. And it's like an echo, kind of. But I mean, that is so resonant because it's in tune with the handpan notes also.
Yeah.
So it's way more than just like putting it on a drum or a table. So I could experiment with this. That's the idea. But that was something I had noticed earlier.
Yeah. So Gretchen's saying the buzzing kind of comes through as interference. I would say yes, it is interference. It's actually kind of a natural distortion, right, Kalani? Like guitarists spend money on distortion pedals, but we can create natural distortion, which is what the buzzing on those more traditional kalimbas and other instruments is. It's creating a little bit of natural distortion, which is to some people desirable and others not. It's an aesthetic, but it also has cultural meaning for a lot of those traditional instruments.
It does, and I don't want to speak for another culture's traditions, but what my understanding is, and I've heard this presented, let me just say it in general, that the buzzing sounds on, let's say, an mbira or some instrument, or the djembe or the dunduns, there's other instruments that have this idea of a resonance, is somebody said, and this is poetic, that those represent sending the prayers to the ancestors, or those represent the voices of the ancestors in the music that we're playing. So it's kind of there's a little bit of a metaphor there. But I like that. I like the poetry of that and the message. So, and it's interesting that these are in fact prayer beads that were given to me. So, attach them to the handpan and not to appropriate, anybody's culture, but it's okay for you to do have your own interpretation of these things, and so that's maybe my way of adding that extra element to the music that I'm playing on this instrument, which really has no ancient traditions because it was invented recently, maybe in the last 40 years or so.
Yeah. Most of the instruments that we work with are some kind of a combination of different things, and it's important to acknowledge where things come from, but also that we endeavor to work with more neutral instruments where it's more about intuitive playing. So they all have different lineages, but they're not taken out of any kind of cultural context that we're not part of. So I would also like to say, since you brought up that the tuning of your kalimba was in tune with the handpan, and so they sound really good together, that anyone who has a kalimba can retune their kalimba. So with our Hokema Kalimbas, we have this little tuning tool, which just looks like this, and it has this little open end on it, and you put the end on a tine, and then you get a hammer. Got my cool pink girly hammer. And you tap the tine one way or another, So, and you can put it on this end and tap it this way as well. And you can retune the kalimba to any tuning that you want. So these tuning tools you can get on our website, but you can also order a custom tuned kalimba. So if you have a particular handpan or a monochord or an instrument that isn't our instrument, but you let us know what the tuning is, we can figure that out so you can get a tuned custom set. Fun stuff.
Or if you want to tune, yeah, or if you have just like a Zaphir chime and a kalimba, and you want to tune your kalimba to the Zaphir chime, which might not be a bad idea if you're playing those together. You can match it.
But we also have those. So for all of our chimes, we have a custom B5, which is this little one, and then the B9, either the B9, which looks like this, or on the drum head, it's called a sansula. So the sansula amplifies it and also gives it a natural wah-wah. So any of these now we actually have custom tunings to the chimes that we showed. So you can get a set where you play. It's actually kind of fun too to play one on top of the other, kind of like this. Don't have enough space here to show you, but you can kind of hold one of these underneath and then play this above. And you have a lot of sound layering possibilities.
Does that, see, yeah, this, for me, the hole is very tiny, but I can get it around my pinky. So I could do that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I've got the different tuning menu. So I gotta get my. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that works. Any questions from our viewers?
Gretchen has been super active, as well as I think that's Minna there and Roseanne. I think we've got we have Gabrielle. So thanks everybody for being here. Yeah, if you have any requests or any questions, we'd love to interact with you. And in a moment, Kalani is going to do another live looping demonstration. I'll also say that Kalani and I were chatting yesterday about looping and how live looping is something that many people are wanting to start adding to either their performances or to even sound baths. Some people like to do sound baths or sound meditations fully acoustic, but some folks getting into these kind of hybrid offerings where you can layer sounds on top of each other. So yeah, we were thinking about maybe collaborating and offering something. So if that's something you think is cool, would be interested in, reach out to us. Gretchen, do you have a turtle? Is that what he's holding? Yes. So the Zenko Elementals are the little mini Zenko drums, and we lovingly nicknamed these the baby turtles. And there's a correspondence to all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, actually, that our friend Rachel figured out. I can't remember which one's which, but yeah, I mean, they look like little turtles. And let me give you the stage here. Would you like to do another little demonstration using some of your goodies there?
Well, why not? I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Absolutely.
Make some music, and yeah, I can put something together here. Why don't I just start with this since it's handy. Also, just FYI, for some of you that might be wondering about the sounds, I am adding some sound effects, in the looper. So that's why some of the sounds might sound a little different. To erase the last loop I did.
Is that a false start?
I realized, I looked down and I realized that all the stuff I had put in the looper before is still there. So,
see, this is why we need the looping class. Looping class 101. Yes. Clear the last session.
Clear the last stuff out that you did before you start again.
So I just got my first looping lesson. Awesome.
There you go. Just breathe and hum with me. Take a deep breath in and ah. How are you guys doing? All right.
Yeah, I was humming and awing along with you. It's for the music, but also when we do an actual live stream, there are a lot of things that can go wrong. So when we're close to the end and it went well, it's like,
That's very true.
Gretchen, I wanted to share this because I've been trying to share some of the comments. Gretchen's a friend of We Play Well Together, and I love how she writes stuff. Rattle mellet, yes, me likey, me want. Me too.
That's awesome.
So that could be part of our
everybody.
DIY make your mallet. You put some rice or some sand into your mallet. You can make your own rattle mallet. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gretchen wrote, me cave woman. Yes, we love you that way. Yeah.
Hey, you could have a whole new product line there, Gretchen. You know, just I mean, if you want it, somebody else probably wants it too. I mean, you know, create something. That's awesome.
Gabrielle's saying, yes, we need a looping class. Right. Yeah, we were talking about, I think I was talking to Gretchen about a looping class too, but we were talking about, wouldn't it be fun if Kalani taught me in real time, because I don't really know how to loop. Like, I have a lot of tech skills, but I've never really gotten into looping. And but what if it was like not just abstract, but like, teach me how to do this thing and let me make lots of mistakes in front of everybody and learn how to loop together. Gretchen, right? Yeah, and we were also saying how when we want to learn something, sometimes we ask different questions than when we're trying to teach something, because we don't know, like, hey, how do I do this weird thing with my voice with the looper, Kalani? And figure that out together.
Exactly. And as you know, the farther somebody gets down their professional skill set path, the farther away from the beginners you get, right? So a lot of times people I'm sure we've all been to it happens to me all the time
where I'll just explain something and it's like basic music theory, and people are like, I get the wide eyes. I'm like, oh yeah, at some point I didn't know this either. I have to go back to that place and have the patience I would have had with myself at that moment.
And I'll just plug. I think you said Brandon's really good at that. So if people are thinking
He
about the course,
is.
right?
He
How about
is.
that for a setup?
That was a great setup. And yes, so my dear friend Brandon Blake is an amazing percussionist. He studied actually in ballet, so he plays Balinese music, and he's very good at playing really complex, complex percussion, but specifically on idiopans and different kinds of metallic instruments where there's muting and unmuting. And so he does all kinds of things that are very particular to that style of music, but then it translates to our instruments, the hand pans and the kalimbas and everything. He also is a brain injury survivor, and part of his recovery process involved music, but it has also made him more sensitive and more creative in some ways, in that he definitely thinks outside of the box. So another thing that Brandon came up with is this technique using little tiny, I think they were refrigerator magnets is what he was first using, these little tiny magnets that he drops onto the kalimba, and because that little bit of weight adds, it adds this little bit of weight to the tine, it makes it heavier and it retunes the tine. So it plays a different note, and he's figured out in what quantities and where to put them where he can retune the kalimba in real time. So he'll be like playing and then drop a magnet and then play a different thing and drop a magnet. And so he's actually going to teach that technique to us. And I'm super excited about it because he also is a preschool teacher and has infinite patience and is really good at taking really complex things, making them very, very simple and easy to understand and not intimidating. So with that, I'm going to play just this 15-second little video that we made about it. Short and sweet little video. And if you're watching us live, we have this super special, I put it in the chat. If you opt into the class by midnight Pacific time, May 1st, then not only do you get the early bird special, which is $150 off of the price, and that goes until the end of May, but if you sign up by May 1st, then you get to choose a chime, and you receive a bonus chime, and you get to pick your color and color tuning of the 5 new big bold bright colors that we have in our collection. So if you're not sure about that, go to weplaywelltogether.com, and there's more videos, there's more information, and feel free to reach out to us, ask us questions, whether this class is for you or not. It kind of has a broad audience. It's a self-care class, but I was just thinking about this today. I think self-care is also client care, that we sometimes, those in the caregiver industries, whether we're massage therapists or music therapists or sound therapy or gong facilitators, that we overgive, and we don't always give back to ourselves. So these are learning techniques for ourselves, but that can also be used in our music, in our creativity, and in our offerings, whatever they are. So it's a professional training, but also for ourselves, and can apply to our lives in many ways. So thank you, Kalani, for being with us today. It is, the hour went really fast. Do you share everything that you want to share? Do you have anything else to close up with?
Not really. I got my tip jar ready though, so for anybody. No, I'm kidding. No, but I just want to thank. I want to thank Gabrielle again for being here, but also for creating, really, for pushing the We Play Well Together vision. And it is amazing. I encourage everybody to go.
Whoever doesn't know, Gabrielle Schwiebach is the founder of We Play Well Together. It's a certified woman-owned business in California, and specializes in bringing over these handcrafted European instruments. Back to you, Kalani.
Yeah, exactly. And because it's not a website. I mean, it's a vision of how to create community and music and empower people to play music. And that doesn't happen by accident. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of work. It's bringing together really great people. Present company accepted. No, I'm kidding. You know, but really, seriously, it's just such a. I don't want to just say, oh, it's just a website where you can get stuff. No, it's a lot more than that. So thank you, Gabrielle, for doing that, and Joule, and we're all involved. Brandon, you know, that you've put together. I'm saying Gabrielle's put together a nice team of people, and yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the inner team, but then there's the wider team. So Gretchen is here with us. She's with the Sound Healing Academy based in the UK. She uses our instruments. We have a clubhouse community where we get on every Wednesday night and we play kalimbas and we goof off on the social audio app. We have our monochord Monday meetups. We have vocal group meetups. So we have so many free and paid offerings. We're just starting to do in-person things again with the monochord training slowly. But yeah, even through this, especially actually through the pandemic, we've really cultivated some real lasting friendships and relationships. And it is way more than a website or an instrument distribution company. It is a group of what have become friends. So I consider you to be a friend, Kalani, too, even though we have yet to meet in person. We almost did
That's right.
in LA, but I didn't go to LA last month like I was supposed to. So next time it will happen. Can't wait. And
that's the next vision for the future, is to, you know, meet everybody here that's involved. There's a lot of people, even on the World Drum Club channel, which I did want to mention, invite people over to watch. We do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's going to be really early in the morning for you UK folks, or the Europe folks, but you can watch it later. But yeah, we do that every week, and I do feature a lot of these instruments there as well. So come join us if you like.
Yeah, so if you're not yet, if you're coming from the We Play Well Together side, please follow World Drum Club on YouTube. And if you're from Kalani's world, then come play well together with us. Mm-hmm. I think that's it. I think we did all the things. Yay! So
Sure. Yeah. Let's. How about if I chime us out and I'll play a little. Oh, look at that! I took the magnets off and they're sticking to the chime.
So that's one more way of playing out of the box. Taking your handpan, turning it upside down, where you no longer have the tone fields, but you have instead. Oh, you're gonna stick your chime in that. That's great.
Who knows?
What is happening? Oh my gosh.
Who knows? I think I'm gonna start with this. How about if we just start and end with this?
I don't know what's happening, but I love it.
Ooh. All right, thanks everybody.
Oh, with a verb too. Awesome ending.
A little dramatic.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Joel. Thanks, everybody.
We did it. We had fun. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you here next month. Much love.